Reaching your destination depends on where you are now. The difficulty lies not in living with people, but in understanding them. Fear is not always a wise counsel. The love that people say is blind has its own voice. Sometimes a little is better than nothing. If we are unable to live as human beings, then let us at least do everything we can to not live just like animals. A hard life is the masterpiece of all disciplines. Those with hard hearts have their sorrows too. In the end, we must use our memory for something useful. Philosophy is learning to die. We are so afraid of the idea of our own death that we always try to find excuses for the dead, as if we are asking in advance to be excused when it is our turn. Now you understand why you bother, because nothing finds acceptance in your eyes. The criminal behavior is that those blind persecutors would rather spoil the food than give it to those who need it most. The important thing is not to lose our self-respect. The most important thing is to listen to each other. Men are all alike and think they know everything about women just because they came out of a woman's womb. Do you know what it means to be a ghost? If a person is confident that life exists, he lives it with his senses, yet he cannot see it. It is good that we are still able to cry, for tears are our salvation, for there are times when we cannot cry, then we will die. He pulled the blanket over his head so that he could cry freely. The ability of a woman to notice what is going on is unbelievable. Dignity has no price, and when someone makes small concessions, life eventually loses its meaning. Blindness is also to live in a world where all hopes have been dashed. I see that the Master does not trust the people who believe in him. I see no reason why these people trust the Master. Blindness does not mean diving into ordinary darkness, but rather living in a luminous aura. If I could cry, I would say everything with tears and not have to speak to make myself clear. Wish me good luck. In order to wish you good luck, I must first know what is good in your opinion. It is said that the wise man is wise insofar as he is cautious. None of us remains one. The moral conscience, which is attacked by many fools and denied by many others as well, is and has always existed, and it was not the invention of the philosophers. Perfect tact is rather rare. If you want to receive excellent service, serve yourself. There are gestures that we can't always find a simple explanation for. Death gives no advance warning when it chooses its victim, Silence seemed to fill a void, as if all humanity had disappeared. When everyone goes crazy, keeping your mind becomes the cruelest form of suicide. In addition, a person does not need to die, but to be alive. Even in the worst adversity, you may find good enough. That we are on the brink of death is something we know from the moment we are born. Fear can cause blindness. We say that we are fine even if we are dying. This is what we say when we do not want to play the role of physical weakness, and this is known as a mustering of courage, a phenomenon known only to humans. Thank you for life's hard experience, the master teacher of all disciplines. Those who pay in advance always receive poor service in the end. Everything that is built on a foundation other than love breeds hatred. I don't think we're blind. I think we're blind. Blind people see. Blind people can see, but they don't see. Pronouns are silent more than they are required to. That is why laws were invented. There is something within us that has no name, and that thing is what we are. If we can't trust each other, where will we end up? No one is obligated to love another, but we are all obligated to respect each other. Just as custom does not make a priest, the scepter does not make a king. If you want to be blind, then you will be blind. Perhaps things are not what they really are, except in a world of the blind. They would rather be blinded by themselves than die because of the blindness of others. When the monster dies, the poison dies with it. He's not ready to take his own life for others to eat, but he's ready to starve, waiting for someone to take his life so he can get food. She sheds tears like she hasn't shed in her life. The mind suffers when it succumbs to the horrors it creates for itself. Joy and sorrow can go together, not like water and oil. A dead voice, like the words he uttered, cannot come from the mouth of a living. It is enough for soldiers to receive one order to kill and one order to die. Certain instances of resistance neither logic nor emotion can do about it. What a person does on his own initiative is less offensive than what he does under compulsion. She can't sleep sitting in her bed, waiting for the fatigue of her body to overcome the resistance of her mind. We all think, but it happens that we think wrong in most cases, or rather, there is a gulf between what we think and what we do, or what we did. Painful, That's all that has to be said. Goodbye, world. You are getting worse every day. He was unable to explain how he prevented himself from screaming. It seems clear that war is a first-rate business, and perhaps the best trade ever given the ease with which it is earned. Only God knows how and why they controlled their legitimate fear. When human nature faces death, it's venom, and venom is expected to vanish. The wound was beating with pain, as if his heart had changed its place. Inherent habits do not die quickly, even when there comes a moment when we think they are dead forever. Hope is like salt. It does not nourish, but it gives the bread a taste.